Hello everyone and welcome to the channel, and I'm here for a video that I've actually been wanting to do for a little while now, but I'm just for some reason now getting around to it. So for this video we'll be talking about the best stores to shop for CDs. Now this is not including online sources like Amazon, eBay, or Discogs or anything like that. If we were to add those to the list, those would probably be the best ways to collect CD, but for this video we're just going to focus on like retail stores, like stores you can actually walk into and look around and whatnot. So yeah, I got 7 stores here that we're going to talk about and that we're going to rank, and we're going to rank them from worst to best based on my opinion. Now some of these stores you might have never been to before, especially with what I have at the top, but we'll talk about that of course. So the first store I want to talk about at number 7, that's got to rank last. It's got to rank last for this ranking. So at the bottom, I got to go with Target. Target is easily the worst place to shop for CDs, especially the last few times I was there. I just was feeling so underwhelmed with the selection that Target had. I mean, I think Target is okay if you want to, I guess, look around for newer releases, especially if it's pop artists' new releases or whatever. Now, yes, they do have some metal there. Like, I know I've seen some Metallica and some Megadeth there, and yeah, I mean, they got some heavier stuff, but it is mostly just modern country and modern pop garbage for the most part. And their selection, as of recent, I mean, it's it's not very good. So Target, I mean, it's honestly laughable how Target's selection is these days. At least the Target that's near me anyways. I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, yeah, Target, it's got to be at the bottom. So the next store I want to talk about is Goodwill. Now, some people might be rather surprised that I have Goodwill above Target because, you know, when it comes to looking for CDs at Goodwill, it's honestly kind of a hit or miss thing, you know? Like, either you'll find something good in their CD shelf or you will not. And I've worked at Goodwill before, so yeah, I do have to say that I do think Goodwill is just a little bit better than Target as far as a CD selection is concerned. I think I've seen some Rush at Goodwill before, so there is that. So Goodwill, yeah, not much better than Target, still not one of the best places to shop for CDs. I mean, obviously, you know, when I want to go out and look for CDs, I'm not thinking, oh yeah, Goodwill, I think I'll look there. No, absolutely not. So Goodwill, that's what's up at number 6. So what's at number 5? Now, some people would actually have this store a lot lower in my ranking, probably last in the ranking, but for me, it's a little bit better than Target and Goodwill, and that is Walmart. Yeah, Walmart at number 5. I do think Walmart is a little bit better than Target and Goodwill. Now, of course, everyone likes to laugh at the CD selection at Walmart, and yeah, Walmart, they do have a pretty bad selection as well, I must say that. And you know, that's pretty sad that, you know, we're here in the top 5, and you know, even my number 5 doesn't even have a good CD selection. I think that really does go to show the current status of CDs these days and how a lot of people moved on to digital media, unfortunately, because, well, I think physical media, you could say, is kind of an underrated thing these days. I think that physical media should definitely stay alive. But either way, Walmart, sometimes I'll find CDs I want there. I mean, I know I've seen some CDs from Metallica. I mean, you'll always find Metallica at Walmart. That's pretty much a given at this point. I know I've gotten most of my Metallica CDs at Walmart, actually. I know I've seen some Rush there as well, occasionally Led Zeppelin and Van Halen, but for the most part, you do get some pop artists and country artists as well, and, you know, these solo artists, and yeah, it just doesn't do a whole lot for me. So Walmart selection, pretty bad, I'd say. So at number 4, I gotta go with CD Warehouse. Now, CD Warehouse, I've actually been kind of disappointed in in recent time, because the last couple of times I visited CD Warehouse, I walked out with nothing. I mean, that really does go to show how I feel about CD Warehouse these days. But the reason that I have CD Warehouse above Walmart, Target, and Goodwill is because, at least CD Warehouse has a decent enough selection, I think. I think if you're someone that's just now starting to collect CDs and you're into rock and metal, I think CD Warehouse might do something for you. And I think that's kind of my problem with CD Warehouse these days, is like, anytime I look there for the bands that I like and the CDs that I'm looking for those particular bands, like, I already have all the CDs from those particular bands that I might be looking for at CD Warehouse. So that's definitely a problem too. That's definitely a problem with being a CD collector. It's like, once you have everything, what else is there to collect from that band? Now, obviously, there usually is always something to collect from a particular band that you like, and consider bands releasing new albums as well, but I think you get the point. I've just been feeling underwhelmed by their selection these days, unfortunately. So CD Warehouse, that's what's at number 4. So, at number 3, now some people might be rather surprised that I have this at number 3. But believe it or not, number 3 is Barnes & Noble. Now, Barnes & Noble is kind of interesting to me because, as far as the things that they support, I'm not that big of a fan of course. I'm not, too thrilled about, I guess, their stances or whatever. But as far as their CD selection is concerned, it's actually not that bad. I mean, objectively, their CD selection is not that bad. Last time I was at Barnes & Noble, I was honestly shocked to see what all they had there. I mean, they had CDs that I never even would have dreamt Barnes & Noble would have. Now, the last Barnes & Noble I visited was actually one that I don't regularly visit, not the one that's the closest to me, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I think Barnes & Noble can be kind of hit or miss as well. There are times where I'm sure you can walk out with something, and then there's, of course, days where you don't. I should really consider going to Barnes & Noble again sometime soon, actually. But yeah, Barnes & Noble, I think it has a decent selection of CDs. I mean, you of course got CDs from Black Sabbath there. I know that they do have Black Sabbath. I know I've gotten some Black Sabbath CDs there. I know they have Led Zeppelin, sometimes Alice in Chains, Linkin Park, and a few other bands as well. But of course, like with the previous places that I mentioned, you of course got these solo artists, these country artists, and a lot of pop artists. So there is that. But I can't say that Barnes & Noble's CD selection is all that bad, to be honest. So Barnes & Noble is at number 3, surprisingly. I mean, you would think that Barnes & Noble would be a lot lower in this ranking, but surprisingly, their selection is not that bad. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to number 2. Now, number 2 in my ranking is FYE, For Your Entertainment. FYE is another one that's kind of interesting to me. I think overall, FYE is a very good store. I think their selection is really good for the most part. But there are times where I do feel kind of underwhelmed. I think my problem with FYE is these days is kind of the same problem that I have with CD Warehouse. Is like, when I go there and I look for CDs, it's like, well, I already have everything that's here, at least as far as the bands that I'm looking for and whatnot. So that's definitely a big problem that I do have with FYE. I mean, FYE, obviously not perfect. They're absolutely not. But overall, I do think it's a very good store, and it's got a pretty good selection, I'd say. You, of course, got your metal section, your rock and pop section, and there's just a lot to look at there. And I know that when I go to FYE, I usually spend a lot of time there because there really is just a lot to look at. So yeah, FYE, I think it's a very good store overall. It's not perfect, but pretty good, I'd say. So FYE is at number 2. At number 1, I mean, do I even need to say it? This is probably the store that you guys are probably the least familiar with, which I think that this store should be open all across the globe, to be honest, because it really is a fantastic store, and I never get tired of going because there's always something to look at, and I usually very, very, very rarely leave with nothing. And I am, of course, talking about the Exchange. I mean, I know that this store is only limited in certain states in the US, I think. I believe only in the East Coast. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's not a nationwide thing. But I definitely wish it was, because I do think that the Exchange is the best place to shop for CDs. I mean, the amount of CDs that they have, I mean, they have way more than FYE. They have way more than all the other stores that I've mentioned. I mean, the selection really is just overwhelming to an extent, but in a good way. I mean, I just am always pleased with their selection. And of course, the guys at the local Exchange near me pretty much know who I am at this point because of the fact that I visit that store so much. And of course, it's another store that I do spend a lot of time in. So yeah, of course it's got everything. Now, yes, you know, they got their modern pop and country and stuff like that, but I mean, you'd be surprised of the aisles that they have. I mean, the metal section is actually quite massive. The rock section is kind of extensive as well. So it's good to see that they're kind of in favor to that. At least that's something that I think. So the Exchange, that's got to be at my number one. So let me know what you guys think. What are the best places to shop for CDs in your opinion? Feel free to let me know in the comments. So with that being said, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and take care.